This conference will now be recorded.
So just a quick revise, on the what we covered. Okay. So Lightning Component Framework is a UI framework, isn't it? So it's used to develop the interface, custom interface, and you can create a dynamic web application, a responsive web application in Lightning that can run in any device, mobile or desktop. And in Lightning Component Framework, we have two controllers. One is client-side controller, which is on the browser side. Okay, and we have Apex controller. So in Lightning Component Framework, we reduce the dependency on the server-side controller. We all the non-database operations will handle in JavaScript part of your client. Okay, and Lightning Component Framework is also referred as single-page application. So single-page application says you will have a supporting content for your application, like the tags to create the interface, the CSS style for your interface, how the form needs to right, how the form should look, how the HTML page should look in your when the page is loaded. That will be taken care by the style sheets parameters, and you will perform most of the non-database operations with help of JavaScript. So right, so it's a single page application. Most of the things you'll handle in one single HTML page, and which reduce dependency on the server. So your page content is manipulated in the client-side JavaScript, right? So in Classic, we'll do most of the no logic in the server-side controller. So which takes takes more overload in your Classic application. And to run any Lightning application or component, we need a domain. So domain must be created. We know how to create a domain. And it's a Lightning experience. We have a navigation under company settings, and in Classic we have here. Okay. So what you have to do? You have to create a domain, select a domain, and check the availability. And you have to wait for some time to get registered. Then you have to log in to test the connectivity and deploy to users. Right? So why the domain is mandatory? You can check on here. I given in the notes. So domain will give you unique URL, right? Instead you go with generic URL login.salesforce.com, we'll get unique URL, which adds more brand for your organization. And you can also customize that login page with a logo and all. Okay, so which is not covered, but still you can refer and do it on your own. Okay, and you can work in multiple org at the same time, right? Because like when you log in to salesforce.com, then if I log in with the different user ID, users in the different tab, then the other one will signed out, isn't it? So only the recent one will be retained. But when you have a different URL, when you have different domain URL, then you will see you can work in multiple Salesforce org. So domain is, it's not just for your Lightning. You can create a domain for any Salesforce. Suppose you are going to work on 3 different org, then having specific domain for each Salesforce org, you can work with 3 different org at the same time, isn't it? You agree with me? So you can work with 3 different org at the same time, provided you have a specific domain for each login. So domain adds security, domain adds a brand, right? And domains lets you to work with more than one org at a time in the browser, right? And right, more than that, we have more other advantages like a single sign-on, and all those things. And then what is Lightning component? What happened to am I
This
audible?
conference will now be recorded.
I'm audible. Audio is clear. Okay. And lightning component is basically you build your lightning application with help of components. So every content in your lightning page, you can say it's a component. So component is a building blocks. Component is a functional unit of your Aura framework. So why do you say what is Aura framework? Aura framework is an open source framework, right? Developed by Salesforce. Like your JavaScript is open source framework, isn't it? So it's all subjected to development, isn't it? So it's all open to contribution. So like Aura framework is an open source framework developed by Salesforce, and your Lightning is basically can develop with help of Aura. So how the component you create? You'll go to the developer console and file and select the Lightning component type, and this is how the component will be created. It allow a root tag called Aura colon component / Aura colon component. So this belongs to Aura namespace. And when you create a component, you will see the bundle, right? The bundle has eight. Okay, the bundle has 8 elements, right? So wait is 7: controller, helper, style, document, render, SVG. So anything is missing here? Anything is missing here? Login. Okay, sorry. Okay, meantime we'll right. So it has these components like a component. So what is lightning bundle? Lightning bundle consists of a component itself, which is an XML file, and controller JavaScript file. Helper, again, common set of JavaScript you'll have in the helper side to reduce the repeated code and redundancy. And style will have a CSS elements and documentation, render, and SVG. Got me? So, and there are some attributes like attributes like access, controller, and all. And this is what we created yesterday. Okay, right. So you know how to create. So how to open the existing lightning component, lightning resource, how to open the existing lightning resource. So all you have to do is you go your file. Yep, you'll go to your file and okay, there are 7 elements, right? So you go to your file and open lightning resources. Got me? So you have to go to open lightning resources, not here. This is for your Apex trigger classes and all, not for lightning. For lightning, you have to go to open lightning resources or control shift A. Control shift A will open the panel for lightning components, and here you can expand, and you have to name the component accordingly. Okay, so because by seeing this, you will not know like whether it's application or component, because application can only be previewed, right? Application will have the preview option. So but seeing the name, you will not able to know like whether it's a component or application. So but when you expand it, you will come to know. Okay, so you can select any of the right now we are just only component, right, or application. We haven't used the controller or helper. If you have no the if you already used implemented something in the controller or helper, that will also appear here, right? As of now, only component and application is appearing. So you can select the component, not the folder. You have to select the file. Select the file and you have to choose with open selected. You have to go with open selected. That's how we'll choose. Got me? So Control Shift A and expand and select and open selected. And if you have multiple components, right? Suppose I have more number of components or applications here, then how do you filter? You see here, I have a student component, right? But it is not filtered. Why? Because it's case sensitive. So now it appears. Got me? You follow this? All of you? It's case sensitive. When you filter the component, it's case sensitive. So make sure you locate with the right case. Use right case tool when you filter the component. Got me? It's clear to all of you? It's clear? So how do you open the existing file and how to filter the file to select, and any of the file you would like to open, expand it and select the file and open select it. Okay. And when you filter the component or any element you like to locate the file, then use the right case here. If I use a small case, I don't see any of the component filtered. Okay, that will may surprise to see why it is not filtered, because of case sensitive nature. Okay, able to follow this? Right. I hope everyone is clear. And the component can be nested, and component can and what is this? What is this? What is this? C colon. So what is this? Everyone? Namespace, right? Namespace. So why do you use a C here? C is a default namespace for every custom component you create. C is a default namespace for every custom component you create. Got me? So we have seen application and component, but we need to cover many more related to components and application, where there are a lot of attributes we have. So, but we'll cover those down the line. So now I'd like to right, how to style your lightning component or application, whatever, right? How to add a styles for your lightning component. So what is the use of style? So before we get into, how many of you have basic knowledge on CSS? If you have a basic knowledge on CSS, then I can quickly take into this the demo. Then I can give you more details about the CSS. But how many of you have some basic understanding on the CSS? So what is the use of CSS? What is the expansion of CSS? What is the expansion of CSS?
It's cascade style sheets.
Cascade style sheet, right? So what is the use of this? What is the use?
So that makes the page look more attractive.
Yes, it's it's used to add. It's used to add a look and feel for HTML page, right? HTML page is nothing but your web page, isn't it? HTML page is nothing but your web page. So using cascade style sheet, you can add more look and feel for your web page, right? And so in short, you can say it's used to style an HTML document. So HTML page is also called as a document. You might have come across, right? DOM, document, isn't it? So, and what is the syntax? minute. It consists of a selector and declaration block. So how do you refer the style CSS style in your web page for HTML page? You'll have a selector. Say for example, I have HTML tag h1. So HTML tag h1 is basically to give the heading for your page, right? Like heading, which will be highlighted with some bold font. That's the purpose of your HTML tag h1. In order to apply a style for this content, so in the CSS, I will use first a selector. Selector is nothing but to which element you are going to apply this styling. To which element you are going to apply this styling. Then you'll have a declaration block. So declaration block will start from braces, and you'll have a, suppose I like to apply the red color, right? So the declaration block will have the CSS property. The declaration block will have a CSS property. So what is this? This is property and colon value. So every CSS stylings will have this format. What is a property and what is the value for the property, right? What is the property and what is the value for the property? Suppose I like to align this text, then text align colon. Where you like to align? I would like to align this center. It's again another property value parameter. And suppose I like to apply the background color, background blue. So every CSS properties you can give more than one properties with a semicolon, and all together you can make a block. If you like to apply a set of style for your HTML content, then which HTML content you like to apply the styling, then you have to go with the selector, and then the declaration block. Are you clear? Are you clear with this? Suppose I have a paragraph, HTML paragraph, and how do you apply a styling for this? I like to apply a styling for this, then selector and your declaration block, and I say like color blue, then you will see this will be highlighted in blue. When you run this in the format of HTML page, then it will highlight in blue. Then I would say like text align center, like this, and every parameter will be separated, terminated by semicolon. So this is how you'll have your CSS. You follow this, all of you? Follow this, all of you? So what is P here? What is P here? It's selector, isn't it? It's selector. Yeah, it says to which HTML element that requires styling, isn't it? So to which HTML element you like to give the styling, and what is the color here in the? It's called property, and the blue is nothing but the value, the property value. Okay, so again is a text align is a property and this is a value. Okay, and you know, like every HTML tag also has an ID, right? I can also have ID here. Suppose I have two types of a paragraph. I have two types of paragraph. And this paragraph has ID P1 and this paragraph ID P2. Then in this case, if I use this selector, then what will happen? If in this case, if I use this selector, what will happen? Both the paragraph will get the similar styling, isn't it? Because we just refer the selector here. We just refer the selector here. So both the HTML content will get styled with the similar look and feel. But I would like to apply only to this, paragraph. Then you can apply this styling with the help of a different selector this time. Okay, the selector here is a paragraph and selector here is the H1 tag. But here I would like to apply different stylings for both the paragraph. Then instead of going with generic tag selector, I can go with a selector as a ID now. So how can you apply this? So this will apply for both the paragraph, right? You follow this, all of you? Okay, now I'm going to refer the ID with hash P1. So if you do this, then this will be applied to only for this. If I say red and P2, this will apply for this. So basically the ID selector, when you refer the ID, when ID is referred as selector, then it must be it must have below syntax. Specific to element, right? Specific to a particular element, you can apply the styling by locating the ID. Okay, follow this, all of you? Follow this, and you will also have a class type as well. You also have a class. You'll have a class where the set of parameters you can apply as a class. I believe we can see it later. Let's move on to how you can apply the comments in CSS. Comments you can always apply with like this. Okay, like how do you apply comments in your Apex multiple lines? Like that you can apply, right? So start with / star and ends with star /. Okay, and if you like to apply multiple lines, then you will go like this, like your Visualforce page comments. In Visualforce page, you cannot do this, isn't it? But you can do this. So, but you can do this include this commented line or applicable in CSS in either of this format, right? And we'll see some of the CSS properties quickly that will help you to apply the stylings in your Lightning applications. So first thing, one basic thing is your color, right? So how to apply a color? What are the basic parameters we have, properties we have in CSS to apply the color? So when I say color, it can be a background color, or it's going to be just a color, isn't it? When you say just a color, then it's going to be color for the text. So we have property like color, background color. We are going to apply this in a while in your lightning component. We are going to apply some of these properties in lightning component soon. Okay, before that, we'll just see some overview quickly. And color is to apply the a color for the text. So as a background color, you will see the entire HTML document, right? We'll have a background color, whatever you color you set. So we'll have like a red and something like a blue or green. This like this, and all these are all like the direct color value, right? Direct color value. But you will see you can also give a custom color value, which will be recognized as a which will be identified as a numbers and alphanumeric characters, hexadecimal value. 1 minute. If I go with color picker, yeah, in yeah, it is there in W3 school. So it's a very basic, tutorial you can get here, right? If you see here, select here, and yep. So this is, this you can get very custom, not the direct colors like red, blue, right? Like that. You can also get the colors in the form of hexa format, right? So you can also specify like that. Instead of like this, you can also specify like this. So this is to apply HTML document, and this is applying text color. So when you just use color, that will only apply the color for the text, not for your not for the background. Okay. When you use background hyphen color, it's going to apply color for your entire background. Right. So suppose I have a division tag here, and here within which I have some paragraph. Okay. Within which I have some paragraph. Something like this, and then you would like to apply a background color for the whole the content of this HTML page. Then I would say like, first I will go with the selector, and I would say like this. Got me able to follow this? So I'd apply a color for the whole HTML content, whatever there in the division. Division is nothing but a block of code, like your page block. How do you group the like output panel in a Visual Post page? You just group, the components together as one block. So using division, I can apply the style for the entire content inside the division, like this. You will follow this? Right. I like to apply a background image for my HTML page. So I have a, I like to bring my logo into my entire page background. right? Now it's a plain background, but I like to have an image that needs to be covered for the entire page. Then what is the CSS property? What is the CSS property I can use to apply a image instead of background color? I would like to go for image, right? So background hyphen image. If you go with color, then it will going to apply a color for entire content. Instead of the color, I like to go for image. When you say image, then where is the image, right? Yeah, where you can locate the image. Then you have to give the URL. You have to give the URL. So where you are going to locate the image. Got me? And like that, you can apply the image for your HTML page. Okay, right. So functionally, we'll see later. I'm just give some overview. Okay, functionally, we'll see later. So border property. To apply the some stylings for your the content, like something like this. Something like this. You'll see the border here is the with the thin line, and you'll see the border is only at the bottom of the block, and you'll see it's a round shaped border, and you see like it's a border with in the left you have some thick border and thin border at the other side. So like that you can apply a border for your HTML element. You can apply a border for HTML element. So how to apply the borders? So what is a border property we have? Able to follow what I'm trying to say here? So it's nothing but the property is nothing but border, right? So border colon, and we'll have a, suppose I would like to have the border as a dotted line, something like this. Then you'll say like dotted. That's it. Follow this, and it's not dotted; it's a dash line basically. Uh, the property value is dashed. If it is dotted line, and it's something maybe like this. Got me? Suppose I have a paragraph, right? I have a paragraph here, and how to apply a border for this para? Then I would say I like to apply a dashed border. Then I could say like this. You follow this, right? Like that, I have a different the border properties. Suppose I like to apply a solid border, then I would say solid here. Then in that case, if this is a content you like to apply, solid, then how it going to look like? It's going to look like this. Isn't it? Like this. Of course, in the notepad I couldn't bring, so you'll also have a line at the left and right side of your content. Able to follow this? Able to follow this, all of you? thick line. Yeah, solid line is basically thick line. Yes. So everyone else is able to follow this. Shall we proceed? Shall we proceed? So before we, before we even discuss any of the CSS property, you must have, you must know like every HTML, every HTML element, or you say document. Okay, every HTML element is considered as box. Every HTML page is considered as a box. So your CSS, entire CSS is basically based on box model. When I say box, then you'll see the box consists of margin. If you understand the box model better, then you will see you can work with the CSS parameter properties much more better. So we have margins. A box contains the margin and the border. That's what we discussed, right? Border, and we have padding and the content. So every HTML element is basically considered as a box. Okay, and the box has margin, border, padding, and content. Right? So box model basically wrap around the content. When you say no para, when you say paragraph like this, then it's you can when you apply a styling for this content, then you can consider what is the margin that required and what is the border you'd like to apply and what is the padding you'd like to apply. Right? In order to understand the better CSS format, you need to understand the box model of CSS. Okay, so what is box model? What is margin? Then we need to understand the box model better. Let me start with yep. So first thing, I have a content. I have a content. Okay, and I have a border. And this is content. And this is a border. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is a border. And the space between the border and the content, the space between the border and the content, we call them padding. Okay, the padding is nothing but the space that you have between the border and the content. It's nothing but padding. So when you style your HTML element, right? When you style your HTML element, you can decide how much space you need between your border and the content. Right? When you apply a border, suppose I say the border is for this HTML element, I say border as something like this. Then you apply some a border, thick line border, right? But you can specify whether the border has to be around the content with more padding, or no, you'll say like it should be very the space between your content and your border required only less padding, so that you can decide with the help of the padding property of your CSS box model. Got me? So with the help of CSS box model, you can better apply style your element with how much padding you need between the content and the border, and what is the thickness of the border. Got me? So the border, each of these has its own sub properties, right? So when you say padding around the box, I mean around the content, then you'll see here we have a left right? Left padding, we have right padding, isn't it? And what is the padding at the top? What is the padding at the bottom? Again, the border, right? The border, you can say, what is the thickness of the border, right? What is the thickness of the border? And above the border, we also have one more property called margin. Okay, so we have above the property, we have one more above the border, we have one more property called a margin. So it means, what is the how you like to apply a stylings around your border. Okay, so any question on this? Any question on this? Guys, able to follow this? Because I have a addition like this, and I like to apply the border. I like to apply the border. Then I go like border. What is the thickness of the border first? Okay, the border has three different elements. The border has three different elements. So one is thickness, the width of the border. You can say width or thickness. Okay, and next is what is a border style, right? The border style we discussed, right? Whether it's a dotted border or a solid color. So that's going to be decided. So I could say the style of the border. And the third one is going to be color of the border. So the border element has three properties, right? Like your padding. So padding has three properties, right? So what is the properties for your padding? Left, right padding, and top, and the bottom. So similarly for your margin as well. Similarly for your margin, you have four different properties for your margin. Me. So thickness has three properties like thickness. Border has three properties: thickness, style, color. Similarly, your margin. So when you apply a border, you can either separately apply your each properties, or else together you can apply. When you apply together, then I can say border 10px. So basically you can apply your thickness in the form of pixel also. Okay, in the form of pixel. So 10 pixel will have some thickness. If you increase a pixel, you'll see like the thickness will be more. Got me? So space, solid, blue. In order to happen, if you apply a border for this content, you'll see it will be like something like this, isn't it? Some solid color depends upon what are thickness, pixel you given. Solid blue color will be applied around the content. You follow this, all of you? You follow this? Anyway, we are going to see the live demo, soon. But I just overview. like this, you will see, isn't it? And suppose I like to apply a padding. So what is a padding actually? Between your border and the content, isn't it? So that you can decide with the help of padding, right? So the padding, if you say like just a padding like 30 pixel like this, then all over around the corner, it's going to apply the similar same padding. When you give just one padding parameter property value here, it's going to apply around the content. It's going to have a 30px padding. Got me? Able to follow this? But when you like to apply a different padding for left, right, and top and bottom, then you can go like this. So for the left, I need to check whether what should be on the left side. I mean, which one is which element among these is considered as a left, and which one is considered as a right? And I believe we start from top. Okay, I think we start from top. Yeah, we start from top. When you give like this something, then it's taken for the padding for the top element. Okay, and this is going to be right. Okay, so in this direction, clockwise, top, right, and okay, I think top, right, and bottom left, I believe, bottom left. Let's say it's bottom and left. Okay, when you know when you apply it frequently, then you will habituate it. Okay, so when you apply just one, it's going to apply for around the content, and but you can apply altogether 4 parameters, different parameters, and you'll see it will be applied top, right, and then bottom left. Okay, and bottom left, like this. Right, and when you apply 3 parameters instead of 4, then it will consider as top, right, and bottom. When you apply just 2, then again it's considered as top and bottom and left and right. Right, when you apply just 2 parameters, then the system will know the parameter will be applied for top, bottom, and right, left. When you apply for 3, and it will be considered in different format. That's you will come to know when you apply frequently. Right, bottom, left. Which one you are talking about? 3 parameter. 3 parameter. It's not left. It's right. Oh, okay, okay. It's okay. When you apply 3, it's going to be top, bottom, left, and right. See, maybe I would give some. This you know already, right? So if you okay, if you give like this, starting yeah, when you give like this, then it's going to be top and bottom, and this is for right and left for both. So for both right and left, it will 25px will be applied, for top 10 and bottom 50. Okay, if you give like this, so it's mandatory, no, right? You should know how to work with your paddings, isn't it? Padding is very common property you'll use it in CSS. Okay, then what is this? Anybody? What is this? If you have just two, top, bottom, and what is this? Right and left. Either right and left or left to right, whatever. Right? And we know like one padding, isn't it? One padding is not required now. So and 4, which means you will see like this, it will be covered. That's it. Okay, now we got you got some clarity on box model. Some clarity on box model, all of you. So everyone else here, everyone here. Everyone here got some clarity on box model property. Okay, then we'll move on to quickly how to apply a CSS for your lightning component. Okay, so you can apply a CSS for your lightning component. In general, there are three possible ways. There are three possible ways you can apply CSS for your lightning component. Okay, one is inline CSS, and next is using external CSS file, and the third one is with the help of a style element from the bundle. You have component bundle, right? In the component bundle, we have a style element right at the right in your component. So you can either use this. So that is where that's given in the third, and you can use inline CSS. Inline CSS and external CSS like how you use it in your Visualforce Classic, similar to that. Got me? And let's create quickly a component. So I like to create a component. Okay, so let me create a component directly here. I have a division here. Right, I have like this. Then how to apply a styling for each HTML element. So I can apply with the help of inline CSS. So what do you mean by inline CSS? In the CSS, in the HTML element itself, you can apply your CSS. In the HTML element itself, you can apply your CSS, inline CSS. So every HTML element has attribute called style. Like it's also applicable, a similar type of attribute you have in your Visual Classic tag also, right? So every HTML element will have a style attribute. So here in the style attribute, I can apply any of the stylings you want. So basically this is a block, right? So I would like to apply a background. So how to apply a background? It's background and color, isn't it? And I would say yellow or something. Then, right, how can I preview this component? I would need an application, isn't it? I need an application. Okay, so I preview this. What happened? So how can I run the application like this, isn't it? With the default namespace next to your instance name, with the default namespace, you can refer your application app. What is the name of the file? Example app. Okay, CSS example app dot app. Yep. So you see, like the background color has been applied for the whole block. So this is how we apply with the help of inline CSS, right? Inline CSS. Got me? So if you like to apply a color for this para, say the text, we'll use parameter property color. This is, isn't it? Any queries here? Any queries here? Any queries here? Is there any margin we applied here between the border and the outside the border? So can we apply a margin and see how it looks like? Say margin as 10px. You see the margin now, right? So with margin, without, isn't it? So isn't it? So without margin, with margin, you'll see some margin is applied. Okay. So how to apply a border? So border required a content, isn't it? So it say like here. I'm sorry. I would have. I cannot apply a uh, right. I cannot apply a color directly because the border has a three different properties. Right. The first will take the thickness of the border, and next will take um, the style for the border, isn't it? The next will take the color for the border, like this. So people are follow this. Follow this. Box properties. Okay, so this is basically now called inline CSS. Inline CSS example. Okay, so let's see how to apply a CSS from external file. So how do you refer the external file in your Salesforce platform? How do you refer the external file from in your Salesforce platform? With the help of static resource, right? So we have a static resource uh, to the static resource. So you have to upload any of the file. It can be a zip file, image, or Visual Force that can be referred to Visual Force page, or you can refer it in Lightning as well. Okay, you have to uh, upload as a static resource here, right? You have to first create the file. First, you have to create the file. Suppose I have a um, like this. So like this, I have. Then I would save this file as okay. Then I change the extension as now it's in txt, right? So I change the extension as CSS. Change the extension of the file as CSS. So this is my CSS file now. This is my CSS file now. Then I'm going to upload that file. my CSS. Over here and save. So first step, anyway, I'll give the detailed notes later as well. First step, upload the CSS file as static resource. Next is how we are going to refer this. How to refer in component, the lightning component, right? So I'm here. Create another example. Example 2. So here I'm going to refer like this. This is a tag, namespace. Here is a tag name, and in the attribute called styles, we're going to refer the static resource. So static resource is a global resource, right? You know how to refer the global variable? Dollar resource dot resource name. So what is the resource name we have given? My CSS. Got me? So now the file is included. The file is included. So earlier we are used inline CSS. Now the file is referred from external source, right? The external file must be uploaded as a static resource. Then you will see, now I have the CSS parameters in my component now. In my component now, automatically what will happen? If any of the, so what is the content we have in the CSS file? What is the content we have in the CSS file? We had two different parameters, right? One for H1, one for paragraph. So if you have any paragraph here, then let us preview this. CSS example 2. I just go here and say CSS example 2. I comment this. Let's preview this alone. Right, you see here, it's green styled, right? It's green styled. That's what we have used, right? It's green styled. Able to visualize? It's green styled. And similarly, if you have any H1, element, that will be applied with the blue and background yellow. So can you try? Component example 2, and I say H1, right? H1. Correct. So now the style can be applied with the help of external file. You got it? So even it has a different other format, like when you have a zip file where has more than one file, then you have a different way you can refer. But all the format will start like LTNG colon lightning, short form of lightning colon require and style. So if you are referring a zip file here, then how to refer a file inside the zip file? You have to comma separate it. You have to give like that. Okay, that can be additionally you can refer later, but this is how you will start. Global variable resource dot external file name, whatever given. You will follow this, all of you? Are you clear? Are you clear with this? Okay. And what next, right? What next? The third one. Third one, I can utilize the style element of your bundle, isn't it? I can utilize the style element of your bundle. The style element dedicatedly given in the bundle itself, right? There's a style tab. So you can use this and apply CSS for your current component. The style that you are referring here is going to be applied for the current instance. Okay, the current instance. Suppose I have the component. Okay, I have para here. Right. Let's go here. Say 3. 8. So no styles applied as of now. No styles applied as of now. Then I go here, click on style, and it's by default this will be referred. So what is this basically? Dot this. Okay, so if every style, every HTML element, you can apply the stylings in this format as well, like class equal to. Okay, you can refer the style class name. So you can apply the CSS in the form of class also. When I say class, either you can refer with the class name, then you have to go with the dot. How you are going to apply the stylings for your CSS with the help of ID, with ID, referring the ID, identification. Remember what we discussed? How you refer the ID uh, with hash, right? With hash. Start from where is it? Selector. I'm talking about the selector. We use hash and ID. Suppose you are going to apply it as a class, then you have to start with dot. You have to start with dot. Okay. Suppose I'm going to apply as a class, then you have to start with dot. So here in the case of bundle type, I mean bundle element, CSS bundle element, you'll see the class is basically the current instance, right? So everything is going to be applied for the current, all the elements in your component. Suppose I have additional paragraph here. This is the first one. This is the second one. Para 1, para 2. Okay. Then I go here and I'd say like this color. Let's see what happens. I go here. It's applied for every blocks, right? It's applied for every whole page. So this means the whole the page, it's applied. Suppose I have another tag h1. Okay. And I have another h1 tag here. I'd say breakline character I applied. Is there any confusion here? No, right? Are you clear what I'm trying to say here? So it is Okay. So everywhere the style is applied, same styling, right? So what I do now, I say apply these only for the paragraph. Apply this only for the paragraph, not for the H1 tag. You got it? Right? Then if you like to apply anything for your H1, then I would say H1 cell, right? Element. This way you applied. Isn't it? Able to follow this? Able to follow this? So the dot this applied for all the content in your component. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do now, one example, I try to explain, every other properties. So I have a para, right? I have a para here, or else I have a division here. Yes. Okay, I have H1 tag here. Inside division, I have H1. Inside para, sorry, inside division, I have para. Right now, let me check on this. So no stylings have been applied, right? No styling has been applied. Then what does it mean? The stylings, whatever you give in selector dot this, this will be applied only at the top level CSS element. Only at the top level CSS element. You follow this, all of you? Not for the nested level. Not for the nested level. Only at the top level CSS element. You'll see like the dot this has been applied. If you like to apply for the nested level, if you like to apply for the nested level, then you have to follow with the different, you have to refer with the different format. Okay, let me take this. Now I have H1, right? So I would say like dot this, and I'd say like space. I give some space. Then I'd say H1, right? And I say like green. Say this. Okay, it is green. So when you apply a CSS for any nested level of component, so H1 is nested, right? Then what do? You just give a space between this keyword and the selector. So red is not applied for paragraph here. Red is blue. I mean, sorry, color is blue is not applied for your paragraphs because the paragraph here, the top level is blue and your nested level should be red. Right? The top level is blue and nested level is red. You got it? What I'm trying to say here. So any nested level must be applied, in this format with a space. Got me? It's applicable for all the nested level. It's applicable for all the nested level for whatever the element you are referring here with help of selector. So this is for your What about this? You got me? Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? So you can extend further on this on your own. Maybe you'll assign some exercise in the first of my time. I'm going to apply. I'm going to upload examples for your practice component and CSS. Okay, are you good today? Able to follow this? Whatever the content we covered today. Everyone, Srivalli, Preetham, everyone, are you good here? You got some clarity on CSS now? What is CSS box model? What is CSS box model? Okay, I think I stored here. Okay, somewhere I stored it. I don't know whether I think I saved it, right? Let me take it. Right. So box model has a margin, padding, and border, right? And we have some properties we have seen. What are the properties we have seen? Like border, the background color, and text alignment. Text alignment is also a common property you can use to arrange the text. So here I would say like text align right. Okay, I say text align right. You see here, isn't it? And I'd say text align left or center. Then you'll see accordingly the element will be arranged. Got me? So just go through some of the basic parameters, CSS properties, then try to play around with help of this. Okay, so try to apply all the type box properties in your example and try it and let me know if you find any issues. And if you know question, then we can wind up. Okay, so don't miss a class. Okay, I think Raji is miss a class today, and even some of you. So don't miss a class. It's more important. Every class is more important for you to understand Lightning. Okay, so take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.